All right, so we're going to be taking a deep dive today into the world of pharmacists. I mean,
Yeah.
we see them all the time at the pharmacy,
Yeah.
behind the counter. But I think this WebMD article we found is going to kind of blow your mind about what they really do.
Oh, yeah. What's got you so excited?
Well, have you ever thought of a pharmacist as like a healthcare detective?
A healthcare detective? Not really, no.
Well, they kind of are. This article, it talks all about their training and everything and all the things they have to know. I was just really surprised. It's a lot, like
Yeah.
chemistry and psychology, and they wear a lot of hats.
Well, you're right about them wearing a lot of hats. That is true. The article goes way back and, talks about the history of pharmacy. Back in the day, centuries ago, people used, natural substances for healing, right?
Right.
And the pharmacists, or, whatever you'd call them back then, they would be the ones to mix everything together. So, yeah, it's definitely evolved a lot over time.
And it seems like now it's not just, counting pills and putting them in bottles. Like they do a lot more with patients.
Oh, absolutely. One of the big things that stood out to me in this article was patient counseling. So it's not just about getting your meds, they actually sit down with you and explain how to take the medication, like what the side effects might be, or maybe you're taking other medications or supplements, and they can tell you if there are, some interactions you need to be careful about.
That's true. Like it's almost like a personalized guide for your medication right there in your neighborhood.
Exactly. And they can even give advice for, like general health stuff, like what to eat, or if you should exercise more, or I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but sometimes I walk down the supplement aisle at the store and I'm just totally lost. Like, what am I supposed to take? And your pharmacist can help you out with all that.
Oh, totally. It's so overwhelming sometimes. But I mean, to be able to do all of that, they must have to, go through a ton of training.
Oh, yeah. To become a pharmacist, it is not easy. It's a long road. Like those pre-med students you see in college, hunched over their books all the time? It's like that, but for pharmacy.
Oh, wow. So what is it? They have to get some kind of, the article mentioned a PharmD.
Yeah, so a PharmD is a doctor of pharmacy.
Yeah.
It's like a doctorate, a professional one, just like, like an MD for a doctor or a DDS for a dentist. And to get that, they have to take tons of classes first. Chemistry, biology, physics, all that.
So like you got to be good at science from the start.
Yeah, pretty much. And then there's this test they have to take, the PCAT, Pharmacy College Admission Test, which I've heard it's not easy.
Oh, man. Sounds intense. And then...
Then once you get into pharmacy school, you've got another 4 years. It's very intensive.
Huh.
All about pharmacology and medicinal chemistry, pharmaceutics, and ethics too, of course, and how to work with patients.
Wow. That's a lot. I'm tired just hearing about it. And don't they have to do internships too?
Yeah, you're right. They go to hospitals, community pharmacies. They even work in pharmaceutical companies sometimes, so they can see like all the different sides of things.
So it's like, boot camp, but for pharmacy.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's definitely a demanding journey, but that's how they learn to really help people and make a difference.
That's pretty amazing. Sounds like they earn their stripes for sure.
Oh, yeah. And even after all that, they have to keep learning because things change so fast. New medications come out all the time. They do continuing education to stay up to date.
I guess that's why it seems like they have an answer for everything.
They're always learning, and it's all to make sure they're giving the best care to their patients.
I have to say, this is really changing how I see pharmacists. I mean, I always knew they did important work, but I never realized how much went into it.
Yeah, people don't always see the whole picture, and that's what we're trying to do with this deep dive.
Exactly. Now, there's one thing I was wondering about. The article mentioned something about pharmacists diagnosing some health problems. Is that a thing? I thought only doctors could do that.
That's a great question, and something we're definitely going to talk more about. But first, maybe we should take a step back and think about all the reasons someone might go see a pharmacist in the first place. And I'm not just talking about picking up a prescription.
Yeah, so it's not just about getting your prescriptions filled. What other reasons might someone go see a pharmacist?
Well, the article talks about how important pharmacists are to, keeping people safe when it comes to their meds. It's more than just, reading the instructions on the bottle.
Right. So what kind of things do they look out for?
Well, think about it. You could be taking, several different medications, maybe from different doctors. And sometimes those medications can, interact with each other, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of them isn't right for you because of another health problem you have. And pharmacists, they're trained to catch those things.
So like it's almost like they're putting together a puzzle, but with your health.
Exactly. They know all your medications
Yeah.
and they know how all the different drugs interact,
Mm.
and they ask you questions, to make sure everything's okay. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of, and then they have to explain it all to you in a way that makes sense. Like, I don't know about you, but pharmacology is pretty complicated stuff.
Right. They got to break it down and make it, you know, easy to understand, even for people like us who maybe didn't ace chemistry class.
Totally. So instead of just saying, take 2 pills twice a day,
Mm.
they actually explain what's happening.
Yeah, they'll tell you like how the medication, how it gets absorbed into your body, how it gets to where it needs to go, what it actually does. They want you to understand what's going on.
That's really cool. It's like they're translating,
Yeah.
from the world of medicine to, like, normal people.
That's a good way to put it. And it's not just about prescription meds either. They can give advice on, diet and exercise, and even quitting smoking, things you wouldn't really think a pharmacist would know about.
Yeah, that's true. So it's like having a mini health coach right there in the pharmacy.
Exactly. They can help you figure out, what's healthy, what's not, give you some tips, some support. It's really a valuable resource.
Wow. I had no idea. This is really making me rethink my whole idea of what pharmacists do.
And we're not even done yet. Remember that question you had before about pharmacists diagnosing things?
Oh, right, right. That's the really interesting part. Yeah, so pharmacists diagnosing health problems. That's I mean, can they really do that? I thought that was like a doctor's job.
Well, people think that, but pharmacists know a lot about different health conditions, the common ones, like if you have a cold or allergies or maybe a rash or something. They can usually figure out what's going on.
Really? So like they're not just handing you a box of tissues, they're actually like figuring out why you need them.
Yeah, they'll ask you questions
Yeah.
about your symptoms and your health history. They might even take your temperature or your blood pressure, to see what's going on.
So it's like a mini doctor's appointment,
Right.
but without having to, make an appointment.
It's kind of like that, but they're not going to diagnose anything really serious. If it's something complicated, they'll tell you to go see a doctor. But for, the everyday stuff, they can definitely help.
That's pretty amazing. I never realized. What about when you have old medications? Like I have this drawer full of like expired pills. I never know what to do with them.
Oh, yeah. That's important. You don't want to just throw those away. It can be bad for the environment and dangerous too if they get into the wrong hands.
So what should you do with them?
Take them to your pharmacist. They'll tell you the best way to get rid of them. Sometimes they have like special disposal kits, or they might tell you to mix them with something like coffee grounds, or seal them up tight and throw them away.
So they really are like the medication experts for everything.
They are, and they're always there to answer questions. Anything you're wondering about, even if it seems like a dumb question.
I think this deep dive has been really eye-opening. I always knew pharmacists were important, but I never really thought about all the things they do.
Yeah, it's easy to take them for granted. They really are like unsung heroes of healthcare.
So, if there's one thing you want listeners to remember from this, what would it be?
Just don't underestimate your pharmacist. They know a lot. They can help you with all kinds of things. So, ask questions, get advice. They're there to help you stay healthy.
I think that's great advice. I know I'm going to look at my pharmacist differently from now on, and I hope everyone listening will too.
That's what we were hoping for.
And that's going to do it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.